video of me rambling about LeetCode questions and being terrible at them but still trying to solve them. So I'm just picking up a continuation to a question that we did earlier, not a continuation as such, but a second part to it. And unlike the previous question, this question guarantees that you're always going to reach the end of the nums array that we had. If you do not know what I'm talking about, please go and see the previous question. Just a quick run through maybe. What this question demands of you is that you have been given an nums array of length n and you're positioned at the 0th index, and what you are required to do is count the number of jumps that it will take for you to go from the 0th index to the last index. An important part to notice here is that the 2, 3, 1, and 4 are the number of steps you can take. So if I'm at 0, I can take 2 steps. I can either jump to 3 or I can jump to 1. So we'll be going into further explanation of this question. So as you can see here, your 2, if you start at 2, I'm sorry, right there. If you start at 2, then you can go to 3 or 1. But if you choose to go to 1, you're again going to take one more step. So if I go 2, if I start at 2 and if I choose to go 2 steps, then I'll go to 1 and then I'll have to take another step to the next one and then I will go to 4. So the number of steps in this, the counter for steps will be equal to 3, right? But if I choose to go from 2 to 3, that is one step, and 3 to 4 is another step, so counter is equal to 2. So this question technically demands the number of steps that I'll be taking to move from my initial 0th position to the very last position. So how do you do this question? An interesting way to look at it is from the best breadth first search way, BFS. Right? So what I can do is if I'm at 2, then I will demarcate my other two options, 3 and 1, in a window of size 2. So suppose this is my first element that I can go from 2 and the second element, right? So 2 can go 2 steps. So first step being this and second step being this. And then again, I can mark another window. So 3 can go to 4. So that is the furthest my window can go. And then 1 can go to the next element, so that is 1. So I have demarcated my entire question into 3 windows, if that makes any sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a left counter and a sort of a right counter. So at 0th position, both of them start at the same place. And now as we move further in the question, my left and right counter will also move. So the left counter will move to the right plus 1. And the right counter will move to the furthest most position. So how do you calculate the furthest most position? The furthest most position is the index I that it is already at, plus the weight at that index, which is the number of steps I can take from that index, which is 2. So the index it is already at, which is 0, plus 2, which is 2. So my index here 2, so my R will become 2. Does that make sense? So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That will help understand better, I'm guessing. Right. And similarly from here, I will move my L to R plus 1. So my L will come here and I'll move my R to the farthest most possible index from this window. So that will be 3 plus 1 or 1 plus 2, 3 or 3 plus 1, 4. So this will be my R. And once my R reaches the end of this particular array, I will know how many steps we have taken. So that will be 2 steps. I think this question can be understood better as in when I code. But again, if you're not understanding this question at all, please go through jump step 2 so you can see what is going on and probably understand better. Right, so we will define my L and my R to be in the first position, right? And from there on, I will define far and I'll define a counter. So my counter is 0 and my far is also 0. Now, while my R is lesser than length of nums minus 1, because I don't want my R to again increment the counter when it reaches 4, right? If it's just len nums, then 4 will still be less than 5, and then this will give an extra count. So that is why we have done len nums minus 1. I think you'll understand it better if you try it on your own too. And apart from that, we have while R is less than len nums minus 1. And the next part is right. So now what I have to check is I'll keep making my far 0, and for I int range, let's go from L to R plus 1. I'm doing this because my R should be included, because I'm starting at 0 0. So if I did 0 0 over here, it would obviously not consider anything and skip the step completely. So I hope that makes you understand better why have I taken R plus 1. And yeah, for I in range LR plus 1, I will go ahead and make my far is equal to far max of far, comma, we will have to take I plus nums of I. So this is 2 plus 0, 3 plus 1. Do you understand what I'm doing that? I explained it before. We are just incrementing and seeing what is the maximum that a particular window can travel, right? So that's about that. And from here on, we will also be counting our steps. So steps, we have a counter variable is equal to counter plus 1. We have to change our L to R plus 1, and R is equal to far, so that we keep shifting our R to the maximum possible point and your L to R plus 1, right? Makes sense, I'm hoping. And then we will just return our counter. And let's run this and see if we're going wrong somewhere. If we are not, well and good. Okay, so it has passed both the test cases, so we'll try submitting it. And this is again an O and O of N solution because we're only going through the elements one time, right? So our solution has passed, and I hope you understood this. Thank you for sticking around. Bye bye.